जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Please accept the humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I'm doing this version by Surdas ji. मैं नैनहीन तुम नैना. हरि मैं नैनहीन तुम नैना. हरि मैं नैनहीन तुम नैना. निर्बल के बल दीन के बंधु. निर्बल के बल दीन के बंधु. वचन सुन हे बैना. वचन सुन हे बैना. हरि में नैनहीन तुम नैना. हरि में नैनहीन तुम नैना. हम उंगारिया जोन डगरिया. हम उंगारिया जोन डगरिया. ले चलो मोहे जानो. ले चलो मोहे जानो. तुम्हारी शरण में तुम्हारे चरण में. तुम्हारी शरण में तुम्हारे चरण में. अब मेरो और ठिकानो. अब मेरो और ठिकानो. गोपाल गोपाल हे गोपाल गोपाल. हरि तुम ही आंधे की लकुटिया. हरि तुम ही आंधे की लकुटिया. तुम ही जिया को चैना. हरि में तुम नैना. हरि में तुम नैना. दर्शन ते सुख बिन दर्शन दुख. दर्शन ते सुख बिन दर्शन दुख. प्रभु मेरो मनुआ पावे. प्रभु मेरो मनुआ पावे. तुम दिखे मेरो सूरज उगे. तुम दिखे मेरो सूरज उगे. तुम बिछड़े छुप जावे. तुम बिछड़े छुप जावे. गोपाल गोपाल हे गोपाल हे गोपाल. अपने पतित को बेगी उबारो. अपने पतित को बेगी उबारो. नाम रटो दिन रैना. हरि मैं नहीं तुम नैना. हरि मैं नहीं तुम नैना. हरि मैं नहीं तुम नैना. Translation. O Lord, I am without eyes. You are my eyes. You are the strength of the weak, the friend of the humble. Listening to your words, O Lord, I am without eyes. You are my eyes. Holding my finger, guide me along the path. Take me wherever I must go. In your refuge, at your lotus feet, that is now my only shelter and destination. O Lord, you are the walking stick of the blind. You alone bring peace to the soul. O Lord, I am without eyes. You are my eyes. Happiness lies in beholding you. Without your sight, there is sorrow. My mind only finds peace when it sees you. When I look at you, my sun rises. When we are separated, my sun hides away. Quickly rescue this fallen soul of yours. I chant your name day and night. O Lord, I am without eyes. You are my eyes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Thank you, Prabhuji. Then please accept my notices.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. I welcome all the devotees to the today's session. We will be studying Govind Bhasya lesson 13. But before that, the invocation prayers. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं त्वजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जयतां सुरतो पंगुर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बुज राधा मदन मोहन विद्याद् वृन्दारण्य कल्पद्रुमा श्रीमद् रत्नांगर सिंहासन स्थितौ श्रीमद् राधा श्रील गोविंद देवौ पृष्ठालिवि सेव्यमानं स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थित गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तु नः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. Now we'll offer our obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurotisya Namaha. O most beneficent incarnation, you are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Vanhamsa Krishnam Sangopangaspraparsadam Yagye Sankirtana Praya Yajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. नाना शास्त्र विचारण के निपुणों सद्धर्म संस्थापको लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने मन्य शरण्याकरो राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजनान आनंदेन मत्तालिको वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who were very expert in scrutinizingly studying the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of, because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesu Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. With this, I welcome all the devotees once again to the today's session. We will be studying Govind Bhasya lesson 13. But before that, let us have a recap of the previous lesson which was covered last weekend, that is lesson 12.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. So, Prabhuji, anyone can share the screen, please? Samta Mataji, Artna Mataji. Lesson number 12.
Yes.
Mataji.
Yes. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। First, I am chanting the Sri Baldeva Vidyabhushan Pranam Mantra. गोविन्द देवदयितं परमार्थपूर्णं विद्वत्स्वहो जयपुरे जयभूषितं वे न्यायश्रुतिस्मृतिविवादसमोर्ध्वहीनं वेदान्तरिक्तबलदेवयतिं नमामि। I offer my humble obeisances unto the great sage Srila Baldeva Vidyabhushan, being very dear to Lord Govind Devji and surcharged with the transcendental knowledge. He became decorated with victory in the assembly of learned scholars in Jaipur. What a wonder! Nobody was equal or superior to him in debates on the Shruti, Smriti or Nyaya, or he possessed the treasure of fully knowing the conclusion of all Vedic scriptures. Hare Krishna. So, lesson number 12, Mataji please, हाँ. लेसन नंबर 12 में लास्ट संडे शरद प्रभु जी ने कवर किया था सूत्र 1 to 10, अधिकरण 1 एंड अधिकरण 2. हम आज दोनों वापस अधिकरण 1 भी हम रिवाइज कर लेंगे क्योंकि पूरा डिस्टिंक्शन बहुत अच्छे से पीपीटी में दिया गया है, तो वापस हम लोग रिवाइज कर लेंगे. माता जी स्लाइड नंबर 4 प्लीज. तो अधिकरण 1 जो है वो 1 to 8 सूत्र, वहां पे मनोमया इज रेफर टू ब्रह्मन एंड अधिकरण 2 सूत्र 9 and 10 द ईटर इज ब्रह्मन. तो हम पहले 1 to 8 सूत्र देखेंगे स्लाइड नंबर 4 से. तो मेरा फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, फर्स्ट 1.2.1 सूत्र ये है सर्वत्र प्रसिद्धोपदेशात्. So it means that everywhere in the Vedic literature are the famous, in this passage the famous attributes of the Paramatma taught everywhere in Vedanta literature are described in the phrase beginning Tat Jalan. तो यहाँ पे ये सूत्र में भगवान की और जीवात्मा के डिफरेंट नेचर के बारे में बताया गया है. तो काइंडली हाईलाइट द सम क्वालिटीज ऑफ द ब्रह्मन एंड जीवात्मा. यहाँ पे जो सूत्र में दी गई है 1 by 1.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. Supreme Personality of Godhead is omnipresent, omnipotent, and he is all pervading, whereas Jivatma is limited, and Supreme Personality Godhead is sun, like sun or fire, and Jivatma is a spark or light of the sun. Can be compared like that. and Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond the materialistic qualities like Sattva, Raja, Tama, Gunas, but Jivatma is full of that, like that.
Yes,
And
Mataji. Mataji,
he
in this slide, Hare
and
Yeah.
Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, slide number 4, please. This is not a slide. This is 9 number.
ये 4 year slide.
He slide 4 only, Mataji.
तो जो modify slide है last.
I was looking at that. Modify has got a 1, 2, 3, na, like
हाँ,
arrows
yes,
both
yes,
sides.
I'm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Mataji,
Okay.
please वो slide share
Download.
करिए please. जो लेटेस्ट प्रभु जी ने हमें भेजी है, शरद प्रभु जी ने भी लास्ट टाइम वो ही लिया था शायद.
वो वहीं पे होएगी ना जहाँ पे अपना
नहीं, नए ईमेल में हमारे
ईमेल
email
by,
में.
okay, by the time she does that, please remember that the individual soul, Jiva, it cannot merge with the Supreme Lord. This is
Yes.
as per Gaudiya Siddhanta, Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. But what is as per Visishta Advaita Vada? Now you know, like Mirabai, she merged with the Supreme Lord at the end, and there are examples of many devotees who merged with the Supreme Lord, including Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is what is given, explained in the Advaita Vedanta. That is, they merge, but they still remain separate. But the Gaudiya Vaishnava, their version is they cannot merge. They cannot be the same under any circumstances, because as we learned, the Supreme Lord has all the qualities: omnipresence, omniscient, omnipotent, all these qualities. But the Jiva is very minute. But it has got all the qualities in less number, in less quantity. That's why,
Yes,
uh,
Prabhuji.
like say knowledge, if anybody says the jiva is not knowledgeable, he has got all the knowledge. But what has happened, it has been covered by Maya. And once Maya is removed, then the all knowledge will surface automatically. That means if we come to that stage, then without reading, without studying, we will be able to recite all the verses of the Vedas and all Vedic literature. That capacity is there with the Jivas, but they are now covered by Maya. That is like a curtain. That's why this is happening.
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
So this slide is
Yes,
very
Prabhu.
nice.
Yes,
Prabhu has
हाँ,
put
yes.
so
So
nicely.
Supreme Personality of Godhead is Vibhu, and Jivatma is Anu, and also
Yes,
Supreme
Mataji.
Personality of Godhead is beyond the karmic bondage, whereas Jivatma is within the karmic bondage in the materialistic world.
But let's look here. What Prabhuji has given, Charu Prabhuji, I think let's
Yes,
go through.
Prabhuji. May I
Yeah.
ask the question? Yes.
Yeah.
हाँ.
So,
तो मनोमया को जानने के लिए हमें किस चीज की जरूरत पड़ेगी? हमारा माइंड कैसा रखने की जरूरत पड़ेगी?
Pure mind.
माताजी, अभी दूसरे को भी चांस देना पड़ेगा.
Mental purity
Yes.
is essential for understanding the Supreme.
Yes.
Manamaya.
तो हाँ, तो फिर वो कैसे आ पाएगा?
By performing sacrifices and connecting to the Supreme and other rituals in spiritual practice, we can do that and chant.
the purity will come with a samadhi, allowing
Yes.
self-realization. But there are other things are given, like how you connect with the Lord with a different, these are attributes, right? Different attributes are mentioned here.
Yes, Prabhuji. So meditation, why meditation is very important?
Correct.
That is to connect to the Supreme. That is the channel, Mataji.
We can grasp through this. Our intelligence से काम नहीं होगा. Meditation
is the one of the most important channel to connect it to Supreme Lord. So once you connect to the Supreme Lord,
Okay, the cleaning process will start. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can
Chetudarpan
understand.
marjan.
Correct. And then okay, once the cleaning process starts, then you will also have a better understanding of the sutra. So that's all the links.
Yes. Yes. Thank
Also,
you,
Mataji,
Prabhuji.
Lord is transcendental. Unless and until we don't meditate on the transcendental, we will be stuck in the material gunas only.
Yes.
So to come out of the material, then we have to connect to the transcendental.
So we should do our internal journey. We have to use our free will towards the spirituality, right?
So,
Yes.
so why all these attributes are given? Just to distinguish between Jivatma and
Yes.
Paramatma.
Paramatma.
So this is the basic thing we have to understand here.
Yes, Prabhuji. Up to 1 to 8 सूत्र में कंप्लीट
Correct.
1 to 8 सूत्र में पूरा डिस्टिंग्विश दिया है जीवात्मा और परमात्मा के बीच में. ओके, सो अभी हम सूत्र नंबर 1.2.2 देखेंगे. सूत्र 2 है, स्लाइड नंबर 5 माता जी. हाँ, ओम विवक्षेत गुणोपपतेश्च ओम. यहाँ पे बताया है कि वर्ड मनोमया हैज मस्ट रेफर टू ब्रह्मन बिकॉज द qualities given here most appropriately described as a Brahman. ये जो यहाँ पे जो क्वालिटी दी गई है वो बहुत ही appropriately डिस्क्राइब करती है ब्रह्मन को. इसलिए ये सूत्र में तो हम देखेंगे डिस्टिंक्ट एट्रीब्यूट्स ऑफ द सुप्रीम. तो हम 1 by 1 इसको डिस्कस करेंगे. तो पॉइंट नंबर 2, the qualities attribute to the Paramatma are not valid for the Jivatma. तो हम इसको कैसे समझ सकते हैं?
Because all
Just
these
now,
qualities
Mataji,
okay.
go ahead,
Yes, Prabhuji,
Mataji.
go.
No, just now, everybody mentioned that, what was the
Yeah.
Paramatma qualities of,
Yes. Yes. Only in simple one sentence answer is good. To revise this sutra, Prabhuji. Yes.
So, all these qualities, omnipotent, omnipresence, cannot refer to Jiva. These attributes are referring to Brahman. That's why
Yes.
this is because of these attributes. The word Manomaya is referring to Brahman and not Jiva.
Yes. तो अगर हमें ये नॉलेज प्राप्त होता है भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम से, तो हमें किस चीज से मुक्ति मिल जाती है?
From this
With the
cycle of birth and death.
Birth and death.
ये संसार मटेरियल बॉन्डेज से मुक्ति मिल जाती है. वेरी नाइस. Yes. So the Supreme is the source of all life, emphasizing his role as a sustainer. So Lord is creator, sustainer and annihilator. Destruction भी वही करते. Everything is done by him. Right? So now sutra number 3. The Om Anupatestu न शारीर ओम. Limitation of the tiny entity. तो यहाँ पे emphasize किया गया है. The word Manomaya here cannot refer to the Jivatma because the qualities described in this passage cannot be attributed to him. तो यहाँ पे जो है तो limitation of the Jivatma दिखाया है, बताया है. तो हमारे limitation क्या है? Kindly explain this.
Control. So we can control ourselves partially, but Lord can control everybody. Let's start with the point 2.
Yes.
We are tiny and subordinate to Paramatma because we cannot remain we are not independent. 4 talks about independence of Paramatma, underscores dependence. Jivatma is depending on the Lord, and 5th talks about Jivatma is eternal and conditioned by material nature, whereas the Paramatma is not conditioned.
Yes,
So
we are
that
always bound by.
Yes,
Yes.
that distinguishes Jivatma, that Manomai cannot refer to Jiva. Because
Yes.
Manomai is a Paramatma, it
Paramatma.
describes Paramatma. So again, this 3rd sutra talks about it cannot be Jivatma.
Yes,
Cannot
because
be
it has
Jivatma.
a limitations. Because
Correct.
of all limitations. Yes,
Yeah.
because we are अणु, भगवान विभू है और हम
Yeah.
3 modes of material mode से बंधे हुए conditioned soul है. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
And,
Now,
and,
Sutra. Yes,
and
Prabhuji.
Jivatma is dependent on Paramatma, whereas
Yes.
Paramatma is not dependent on
He
Jivatma.
is Swarat.
Correct.
He is Swarat.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And Brahman is the foundation of all the existence. We are not the foundation of all the existence.
Yes. Yes, Mataji. Very true. Now, slide number 7. Sutra 4. ओम कर्म कर्तु व्यपदेशाश्च ओम. यहाँ पे कर्म मीन्स ऑब्जेक्ट एंड कर्तु मीन्स एजेंट. Because of the statement and cha means also. Because the distinction is drawn here between the agent and the object. यहाँ पे क्लियर डिस्टिंक्शन हमने ऊपर के सूत्र में देखा 1, 2 और 3 में. तो इस हिसाब से हम देखेंगे यहाँ पे हमारा अल्टीमेट गोल. व्हाट इज अवर अल्टीमेट गोल ऑफ लाइफ?
Ultimate goal.
To achieve supreme personality of God through devotion.
लव ऑफ गॉड है, भगवान का प्रेम प्राप्त करना. राइट?
That is through devotional service. Okay.
यस. हाँ, वही मैं दूसरा क्वेश्चन वही पूछने वाले थे प्रभु. थैंक यू. वो हमें कैसे प्राप्त होता है? डिवोशनल सर्विस.
Devotional service.
यस प्रभु जी. So who is worshipper and who is a worshipped?
Jivatma is worshipper and
Jivatma.
Supreme Brahman is worship.
Worship. Yes.
Worship.
Our object of worship is Paramatma and we are the worshipper. Right. So now slide number 9 माताजी. ये हमने कवर कर लिया. मनोमय. वर्शिप इज मनोमय. मनोमय के जाने के लिए हमें मेडिटेशन की जरूरत है. फिर हमारी प्योरिटी ऑफ माइंड की जरूरत है. डिवोशनल सर्विस की जरूरत है. तब हम वहाँ मनोमय को जान पाएंगे थ्रू डिवोशनल सर्विसेज. और वो हमारे अल्टीमेट गोल है. वो हमारे वर्शिप पर, वो हमारे वर्शिप ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ वर्शिप है. राइट? तो ये सूत्र नंबर 5 इसमें यही बताया गया है. नाउ सूत्र नंबर 6 माताजी, स्लाइड नंबर 10. ओम स्मृतिश्च ओम. तो यहाँ पे स्मृति और स्मृति शास्त्र वो भी डिस्क्राइब करती है कि मनोमया इज द परमात्मा. परमात्मा रोल इन द हार्ट. तो ये भगवत गीता का कौन सा श्लोक यहाँ पे हम कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं?
सर्वोच्चम हृदय सन्निविष्टो.
जो परमात्मा हमारे हृदय में उपद्रष्टा अनुमंता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वर परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेस्मिन् पुरुषः पर. हमारे जो शरीर में अंदर भगवान हमारे हृदय में जो विराजमान है परमात्मा, वो क्या क्या करते हैं हमारे लिए? वो हमारे उपद्रष्टा है. फिर दूसरे हमें क्या करते हैं? वो हमें क्या गाइड करते हैं,
अनुमंता.
या और साक्षी भी है हमारे.
साक्षी
भोक्ता भी है. यस. तो स्मृति शास्त्र में भी ये. हाँ माता जी बोलिए.
माता जी वो श्लोक भी लागू हो सकता है क्या? सर्वस्य चाहम हृदि सन्निविष्टम मत स्मृति ज्ञानम अपोहनम च.
नहीं, वो दूसरी क्वालिटी में आती है. मगर ये भी हो सकता है ये श्लोका ईश्वर सर्वभूताना हृदय अर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यंत्र रूढ़ानि माया. भगवान हमारे हृदय में विराजमान है और माया के द्वारा ये हमारा जो शरीर है वो एक यंत्र है. वो घुमा रहा है माया हमें. ये ऑल मन से, बुद्धि से और हमारी ये सेंसेस से हमें यहाँ पे सब घुमा रहा है. ये श्लोक हम कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं. ओके. सो नाउ स्लाइड नंबर 11 माता जी. तो यहाँ पे एक संशय ये है कि अगर परमात्मा हमारे हृदय में विराजमान है एज ए परमात्मा स्वरूप, तो क्या वो जीवात्मा है? उसको हम जीवात्मा कह सकते हैं कि वो परमात्मा है? वो एक डाउट यहाँ पे आता है. तो ये जो सूत्र है 1.2.7 यहाँ पे क्लियरली डिस्क्राइब किया गया है कि भगवान की इनकंसीवेबल पोटेंसी के बारे में बताया है कि भगवान एट अ टाइम स्मॉल भी हो सकते, टाइनी भी हो सकते हैं, एट ए टाइम महाविष्णु के तरफ विराट भी हो सकते हैं। तो टाइनी जब होते हैं तब वो परमात्मा के स्वरूप में, तो क्यों हो सकते हैं टाइनी? तो योगी, तो उसका रीजन क्या बताया है यहाँ पे? भगवान क्यों एकदम स्मॉल छोटे हो जाते, इसके रीजन क्या बताया है ये सूत्र में?
Easy
He
to
is
meditate.
living in everyone hearts.
उसका रीजन क्या है इतने?
वो
तो क्या हम क्या कर सकते हैं?
Supreme Personality Godhead has the immense potency, that is omnipotent. He can emanate and transcend, and he can be very large
नहीं
as
बता, ये
sky.
वो बराबर है, मगर वो टाइनी क्यों होते हैं?
No,
टाइनी क्यों बन
meditate.
जाते हैं हाथी?
Tiny is required to
Tiny is
meditate.
meditate.
Sitting.
Yes, this is the way to meditate.
Contextual. Everything is contextual.
Context.
So
Yes.
Lord manifests for that purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, he is helping us so
Yes.
that if he is small, then only we could meditate, right?
Yes. 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 So
Very
this is the
good
dual
service.
nature.
It
ये
is,
dual
yeah, it
nature
is for our
बताते हैं.
purpose. Yeah, it is for our purpose.
यस प्रभु जी। तो भगवान का ये करुणामय स्वरूप भी है कि वो भगवान हमारे साथ है। हर जन्म में भगवान, कोई भी हम जन्म लेते हैं, कोई भी शरीर धारण करते हैं, हमें भगवान छोड़ते नहीं है। भगवान हमारे साथ ही है और हमें भगवान देखते देखते जाते हैं। तो भगवान, हम मेडिटेट कर पाए इसलिए हम भगवान इतने छोटे भी बन जाते हैं। दिस इज हिज कंपैशनेट, कंपैशन स्वरूप, करुणामय स्वरूप है ये। और एट द सेम टाइम महाविष्णु, उनका जो कार्य है वो इतने सारे यूनिवर्स को क्रिएट करते हैं। लाइक भगवत गीता में अर्जुन को भगवान ने विराट स्वरूप दिखाया था। कितना विराट स्वरूप दिखाया था। एट ए टाइम भगवान के ये ड्यूअल नेचर, इनकंसीवेबल पोटेंसी के बारे में बताया गया है। तो सूत्र नंबर 8 को यहाँ पे ऐसे ले सकते हैं कि भगवान, ये संशय दूसरा ऐसा आया है कि अगर भगवान परमात्मा स्वरूप में हमारे हृदय में है, तो क्या भगवान हमारे जैसे पेन और प्लेजर को फील कर सकते हैं?
नो, नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि वो
क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं?
वो विटनेस है खाली। सुप्रीम इज द विटनेस, ही रिमेन्स अनएफेक्टेड। उनको ये मटेरियल ये कुछ नहीं होता है,
He is a
इफेक्ट नहीं करता है।
transcendental, yes, because transcendental है, beyond everything.
Plus, he is also guiding the Jivatma throughout. He gives the
Yes.
right guidance. It is another thing that we listen or not listen, that is different.
और जीवात्मा को क्यों पेन एंड प्लेजर फील होता है? क्यों? इसका रीजन क्या है?
Because he is under the mode of material nature.
Yes, he has accept, और most important thing, because of his कर्मा। उसको कर्म लगते हैं ना, इसीलिए ये जन्म लिया, ये बॉडी
And
धारण।
one more thing, Mataji, I think that because of he's identifying with his body.
Yes.
Actually, his body
Yes.
is not his.
Yes.
यस, वेरी ट्रू माता जी। बिकॉज उसने समझ लिया है कि ये मैं शरीर हूँ, तो फिर ये सब उसको लगेगा। अगर हम ये प्रैक्टिस करने लगे कि आई एम नॉट दिस बॉडी, आई एम सोल, वो हम अभी हम लोग इतने साल से हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं अभी ये समझने की कि वी आर नॉट दिस बॉडी, वी आर सोल। सो इतने सालों से हम लोग ये प्रयत्न कर रहे हैं। जब ये एक बार हमें बराबर मालूम पड़ जाएगा कि हम ये शरीर नहीं है, तब ये जो भी पेन है, प्लेजर है, जो सो कॉल्ड ये सारे रिलेशन है, सब हमारे धीरे धीरे वो जो हम कहते हैं अटैचमेंट, वो अटैचमेंट छूट जाएगा और हम भगवान से ज्यादा अटैच हो पाएंगे। वेरी नाइस, थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू। नाउ वी आर अधिकरण 2। यहाँ पे बताया है कि ईटर इज द ब्रह्मन। सो माता जी प्लीज स्लाइड नंबर 2।
2 or
स्लाइड
12?
नंबर 2 नहीं, 2 उसका जो पूर्व पक्ष, संशय या विषय सब है ना माता जी, वो हम थोड़ा देख लेंगे। तो यहाँ पे जो अधिकरण सूत्र नंबर 9 और 10, द ईटर इज ए ब्रह्मन के बारे में पूरा हम देखेंगे। तो यहाँ पे जो विषय बताया है कि मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट है हमारे शास्त्र, स्क्रिप्चर, ऑथोरिटी। उसने बताया है कि हम भगवान के पास कैसे पहुंच सकते हैं, भगवान का ज्ञान कैसे प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पे भगवत गीता और भागवतम के बारे में बहुत अच्छे से बताया है। तो उसका इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है? जिसने आंसर नहीं दिया है, संजय प्रभु जी प्लीज आप दीजिए आंसर।
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes.
यस प्रभु।
So that
What is
gives
the
us
importance of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam?
so two, three things. One, like Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna. Bhagavatam is spoken about Krishna. So they guide us. Like the unknown cannot be known unless he himself reveals. So he reveals himself through the Shastra.
यस, वेरी ट्रू। सो ट्रू नॉलेज हमें भगवत गीता से मिलता है, और भागवतम हमें बताता है कि सारी जो एक्टिविटीज है, हम जो भी एक्शन करते हैं वो भगवान की खुशी के लिए करना है। दिस इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट। जो हम लोग कहते हैं ना हरितोषणम, तो भागवतम हमें वो सिखाता है हरितोषणम, कि जो भी एक्शन करते हैं, जो भी कार्य करते हैं वो भगवान के लिए है। और भागवतम जो भगवत गीता जो है हमें ट्रू नॉलेज देता है। दिस इज द मोस्ट टू इम्पोर्टेंट। हमारे वैसे भी हमारे गौड़ीय वैष्णव, जो भी वैष्णव, इनके लिए ये प्राण है, भगवत गीता और भागवतम। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। और यहाँ पे जो पूर्व संशय ये है कि अभी जो ईटर है वो ब्राह्मण है, तो क्या वो ईटर तो अग्नि भी हो सकता है, एक जीवात्मा भी हो सकता है ईटर? तो यहाँ पे ये संशय है। तो पूर्व पक्ष ने तो बताया है कि बृहदारण्यक उपनिषद में तो बताया है फायर, फायर इज द ईटर। जीवात्मा का तो एग्जाम्पल भी है कि भाई वो वृक्ष पे दो बर्ड बैठे हैं, और एक तो खा रहा है अपने कर्मफल, और एक जो है वो देख रहा है, तो फिर वो भगवान कैसे ईटर हो सकते हैं? तो फिर सिद्धांत में बताते हैं कि शिला वेद व्यास जी कॉन्टेक्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग से हम देख पाएंगे उसको। जैसे हम लोग ने देखा था कि फर्स्ट में के कौन सा था वो,
मनोमय।
आगे के सूत्र मनोमय में, मनोमय में भी देखा, कॉन्टेक्चुअल में। उसके पहले भी हम लोग ने देखा था कौन सा था, फॉरगेट दिस।
प्राणा प्राणा प्राणा।
हाँ, प्राणा, प्राणा
प्राणा
रेफर्स टू, यस, प्राणा रेफर्स
जो
टू। तो यहाँ पे हम उसमें कितने हम लोग ने सारे कॉन्टेक्चुअल देखा था, फिर पर्पस देखा था, यूनिटी ऑफ पर्पस, और वननेस देखी थी। इस तरह से यहाँ पे भी हम देखेंगे कि ईटर इज ऑल्सो अ ब्रह्मन, कॉन्टेक्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग से और यूनिटी ऑफ पर्पस से देखेंगे। ओके, नाउ माता जी स्लाइड नंबर 12। अब यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन है स्लाइड नंबर 12। यस, सो सूत्र नंबर 9, सूत्र नंबर 9 क्या है?
Sutra number 9 is the ether. He is Brahman because he takes the moving and non-moving. Yeah.
अतः चराचर ग्रहण।
अतः चराचर ग्रहणात्, यस, ही टेक्स द मूविंग एंड नॉन मूविंग एज हिज फूड। यहाँ पे हमें यूनिटी ऑफ पर्पस, वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट देखना है कि किस हिसाब से बताया गया है। तो इसके हम कैसे समझ पाएंगे उसको, उसकी जो मेटाफोर दिया गया है उसको हम कैसे समझ पाएंगे, ये मेटाफोर को?
The metaphor
Third
eating
point.
the universe symbolizes power and cycle of creation and destruction.
Universe, Krishna is God, is annihilator, destructor, dissolutions.
Everything, yes, he is everything
of the universe, whole universe,
yes.
moving, non-moving.
He is omnipresent
यहाँ
and
पे
transcendental qualities of this proof.
यस, और यहाँ पे बताया है कि जीवात्मा के लिए जो है वो कर्म है, मगर भगवान ट्रांसेंडेंटल है, राइट? तो यहाँ पे भगवान के कोई कर्म को लगता नहीं, भगवान जो है वो क्रिएट करते हैं, मेंटेन करते हैं, और सस्टेन करते हैं। भगवान ने सृष्टि बनाई है, भगवान ही उसका फिर समय आने पे पूरा संहार भी करते हैं। सो इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज अ ईटिंग। जैसे जब इनहेलेशन होता है तब सब एक होके, तो हम तभी भी देख पाते हैं कि जो अग्नि जो है यहाँ पे जो बताया कि भाई अग्नि भी तो ईटर हो सकता है, तो अग्नि भी भगवान के पास ही वापस जाता है। और जीवात्मा को भी, जीवात्मा भी ईटर नहीं हो सकता, वो भी अपने वापस भगवान के पास ही जाता है जब इनहेलेशन होता है। और दूसरा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट यहाँ है कि अगर जीवात्मा को हम कहते हैं कि ईटर है, तो अगर हम जो भी खाते हैं, प्रसादम लेते हैं, तो वो कौन पचाता है? भगवत गीता का यहाँ पे कौन सा श्लोक कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं हम?
Is in the
15
Jata, right?
चैप्टर।
Yeah.
यस,
I
अहम
am the
वैश्वानरो भूत्वा।
Vaishnava.
I am
Right?
the digestive fire.
In the
Yes,
stomach.
yes.
Yeah.
यस प्रभु जी। अहम वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिना देहमास्थित प्राणापान समायुक्त पचामन्नम चतुर्विधम। 4 प्रकार से भगवान अन्न को डाइजेस्ट करते हैं। सो अल्टीमेटली हम खाते फिर भी हम पचाने की शक्ति नहीं रखते हैं। सो इट इज नॉट हम जीवात्मा ईटर है, राइट? तो सूत्र नंबर 9 में ओम प्रकरणार्च ओम, बिकॉज ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट हिज ट्रांसेंडेंटल क्वालिटीज है, इसीलिए हम समझ पाते हैं कि भगवान है वो ईटर है, राइट? और कनेक्टेडनेस, अभी यहाँ पे सूत्र 1 to 10 को प्रभु जी ने बहुत अच्छे से कनेक्ट किया है। तो इसका 1 by 1 हम लेते हैं। फर्स्ट है डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस। तो डिस्टिंक्टिव बहुत शॉर्ट में आंसर देंगे प्लीज, क्योंकि अभी 3 मिनट्स ही बाकी है हमारे। डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस को कैसे समझ पाएंगे? फर्स्ट माता स्लाइड नंबर 13। हाँ, जीवात्मा और परमात्मा के कैसे हम समझ पाएंगे? क्लियर है, वो डिस्टिंक्टिव है।
His omnipotence and transcendental nature
Yeah,
is only
omnipotent.
applicable to Paramatma,
Yes,
not the
yes,
Jivatmas.
Yes.
yes. तो अभी उसको जानना है तो हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? हमारे
We
मन
have
को
to
क्या
be
करना
mentally
पड़ेगा?
purification,
प्योरिटी ऑफ माइंड एंड क्लैरिटी ऑफ माइंड। क्लैरिटी ऑफ माइंड
Yeah.
कैसे आएगी? शास्त्र
knowledge.
के द्वारा, नॉलेज के द्वारा, ट्रू नॉलेज के द्वारा क्लैरिटी होगी, और डिवोशनल सर्विस से प्योरिटी होगी, बराबर? तो रोल ऑफ डिवोशन हो गया। और यहाँ पे हमने क्या देखा? भगवान की इनकंसीवेबल पोटेंसी। तो वो कैसे देखा हमने यहाँ को सूत्र में?
He can both be infinite and transcend.
Yeah.
Accessible
He
to
is
all.
a tiny, smaller
Uh,
than smaller, and bigger than bigger,
Greater than
greater
greatest
than
and smaller than smallest.
यस, लाइक हमारे परमात्मा हमारे हृदय में है, इतने छोटे स्वरूप में, और ट्रांसेंडेंटल में बड़े
Through
स्वरूप में,
meditation, Mataji, we have seen through meditation.
यस, इट इज
and
इम्पोर्टेंट, वेरी
although he is inside us in the form of Paramatma, but he doesn't get affected by our like we are conditioned, but we get affected, he doesn't get affected.
यस। और विटनेस, भगवान का नेचर कैसा है वो हमें साक्षी भाव से देखते हैं। भगवान देखते कि राह देखते हैं हमारी कि ये कब आएगा। तो अभी हम वी आर सो लकी कि हम ये स्टेप बाय स्टेप हम समझ सकते हैं कि अभी हम ये प्रोसेस में है, हम कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में आ गए हैं। अब हम चैंटिंग भी करते हैं, मेडिटेशन, चैंटिंग इज ऑल्सो मेडिटेशन। हम डिवोशनल सर्विस करते हैं, वैष्णव की सेवा करते हैं। तो धीरे 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 हम मनोमया को जानने के लिए क्वालिफाई होते जाएंगे। तो यहाँ पे हम ये रिकेप सेवा समाप्त करती हूँ। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर पार्टिसिपेटिंग।
Thank you, Mataji.
दंडवत प्रणाम to all.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful introduction, Mataji. So
Thank
nice.
you, Dr. Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you very much.
Thank you for seva.
Acha, okay, we spoke one thing. The Supreme Lord is the eater. He eats everything. that means, does he actually destroy? Does he annihilate himself? Does Krishna get involved in annihilation or
नहीं
even maintenance? Who
No,
does,
no.
शिव जी रुद्र
मर्ज
who?
मर्ज से हो जाते हैं.
It is through his energies, everything happens.
Who does this annihilation?
महाविष्णु
No.
So
शिव जी के द्वारा
His representative, who is in the top of.
संकर्षण संकर्षण
Rudra, Shivji, Shiv.
Rudra,
शिव
Shiva.
जी के
Yes,
द्वारा
yes.
शिव जी
That
के
is
द्वारा ये
representation only. It is
Yeah,
just
he
like
is the
that.
Krishna does not do himself.
यस
His representative does. But even if the representative does, then he is responsible. We are taking his name. Like maintenance. Maintenance also, he personally doesn't do. His representative.
विष्णु
Yes, Vishnu. Which Vishnu?
गर्भोदक्षाय विष्णु ती ऑल थ्री करते हैं क्योंकि महाविष्णु जो है वो सब क्रिएट करते हैं गर्भोदक्षाय विष्णु सब यूनिवर्स में एंटर करते हैं और क्षीरोदक्षाय विष्णु परमात्मा स्वरूप हम सर्व के हृदय में है
सस्टेनेंस क्षीरोदक्षाय विष्णु का प्राइम रोल है.
And what does Krishna do? What is his job?
He's enjoying.
enjoyer.
He delegates everything to the others, and he does what?
फ्लूट वगैरह बजाते हैं.
He tends the cows.
Yes.
He dances with the gopis, and he
Yes.
enjoys. That is his job.
Yes, Prabhuji. Very true.
Okay, I'll
Prabhuji, I have a doubt, Prabhuji. During
Yes.
annihilation, everything goes into the Lord's body, enter into the body. That is why he is known as eater. That was explained. And when Shivji does the annihilation,
Yes.
what happens?
Yes. When Shiva, as the representative of the Supreme Lord, he annihilates. When the complete universe gets annihilated, where does it go? It goes into the belly of the Supreme Lord and stays there for some time. Then,
Yes.
Till the next creation. This is
Yes,
what we have learned so far.
तो माता जी कल हमने जो सॉन्ग गाया था तुम ही सर्वेश्वरेश्वर उसमें बताया है कि आपकी इच्छा से शिव संहार करते हैं.
हाँ नहीं वो
भगवान
तो
की
होता
इच्छा
है.
से. हाँ
वो तो होता है. मैं सोचती थी कि शिव जी जब करते हैं तब तो शिव जी का क्या रोल है, वो कैसे प्रलय करना चाहते हैं, वही जानना
Okay,
चाहते.
on ground it is done by Shivaji, not that Krishna comes and does it standing there. He does not do physically. His representative, that is the Lord Shiva Rudra, he does the annihilation. So that
Yes,
is what is the meaning.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, then we'll start lesson 13 today. What is the lesson 13? This is Adhikarana 3 and sutras. I will cover only 2 sutras. Last time I covered 6 to 10. Now I will cover 11 and 12. These are the 2 sutras. Okay, and what is Adhikarana 3? The associate in the cave is Brahman. Will understand all these things very, very clearly. Cave means the heart. Where does the Paramatma stay in our body?
heart में.
Heart.
Okay, Paramatma stays in the heart. That is clear. And where does our individual soul, Atma, stays?
That is
Heart only,
also
Prabhuji.
Heart only.
Below the heart.
Those Vayus, we have 7 Vayus. Somewhere we float there.
It also stays in heart.
It
There are
also stays in the heart. That
There are
means,
two parts.
that means
Antakarana. This is Antakarana.
we are, both these are in the heart, and heart is described as a cave. And in that cave, both Atma and Paramatma stay. Okay, we'll learn about this today. We'll go to the next slide. Okay. As you know, how to understand these Vedic verses, sutras, there are four things: Visaya, Samsaya, Purvapaksha, and Siddhanta. Now we'll start from that. Adhikarana 3, Sutra 1.2.11 to 12. The associate in the cave is Brahman. The associate of the individual soul is the Supreme Soul, Paramatma, and both of them, they live in the cave of the heart. Now, what is the thesis or statement, Visaya? The text examines the relationship between the Jivatman and Brahman. Brahman means Paramatma, the Supreme Lord, with both present within the heart. This is what we learned. The chariot analogy illustrates the soul's journey and the need to control desires for liberation. We'll examine all these points in very great detail today because the class is quite short, time is enough. We'll discuss about all these things. But there is a genuine doubt also. What is the genuine doubt on samsaya? It raises questions about the identity of the companion in the heart. Companion, that is the Paramatma, there is a doubt. Why this doubt is arising? Because there is a verse 131 in the Kathopanishad. This companion may be intelligence or the life breath. It may be our intelligence, or it may be prana, life breath, raising doubts about whether it can be supreme being. What is there in the heart, in that cave, whether it is the life breath or it is the intelligence. Then what is Purva Paksha, antithesis, or the devil's advocate? What it is saying? The argument challenges the notion of the supreme being as the companion. It is saying, how can the supreme being, that is the Paramatma, be the companion of the individual soul, asserting that intelligence and life breath participate in karma. The Supreme Lord does not get involved in karma, but this individual soul is getting involved in karma. That's why this companion, what we are talking, which is in the heart, this must be the intelligence and life breath both. That's what Purva Paksha is saying. Now, Siddhanta, what is this Siddhanta of whom? Siddhanta of Vyasadeva. What he is saying? The text affirms Brahman is the ultimate reality. There is no ultimate truth other than Brahman or the Supreme Lord or Krishna. There is no doubt. But commentators like Shankara, that is Adi Shankara and Ramanuja, offer different interpretations of the relationship between Jivatman and Brahman, emphasizing unity and distinctness respectively. Now, what Shankaracharya says, Jivatma and Paramatma, they are the same. And what the other Vaishnavacharyas say, they say they are eternally different. They cannot be the same. They are totally distinct in nature. That's why what they say. And the conclusion stresses that liberation comes from surrendering to the Supreme. Therefore, the individual soul should always surrender to the Supreme Lord because he is under the Supreme Lord. He is not independent. The Supreme Lord is only independent. The Jivatma is not independent. And in conclusion, together these themes 1 to 4 trace the seeker's path from inquiry through doubt and argument to realization, emphasizing understanding and surrender to Brahman as the means of spiritual enlightenment. That means we should practice devotional service and understand Brahman, and that will happen by our surrender only. We should be totally surrendered to the Supreme Lord. That is what he says in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, here in this topic 3, what it is saying, Gudhadi Karanam, that is the person in the heart, the Lord dwells inside the heart together with the soul. This is what he is saying. And also in Kathopanishad, in various other Upanishads, it is given the two selves, that is the individual soul and the supreme soul, inside the heart are the Lord and the Jiva. Because
Prabhuji, we are seeing that slide too. I think
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am just explaining what I said.
Okay.
I'll come back to, because the time is quite a good amount of time is there today. That's why I'm repeating certain things so that it goes remains in the mind. Now, what is happening? The two selves, that is the Supreme Lord and the Jiva, they are both in the heart only, and this is given in the various places in the Shastras. And because of the differences between them, there is difference between the Lord and the Jiva. That's why they are not the same. And what in the Kathopanishad, what we are saying, there are two aspects of the Lord. What are the two aspects? Is the drinker of the truth existing in the body, and this one obtains by good work. And both dwelling in the cavity of the heart. Now, the knowers of Brahman, those who know the Supreme Lord, and those who perform the great sacrifices, and the Nachiketa fire, they describe these as a shade and sun. This is what is given in the Upanishad. And also, it says that I know that Lord Vishnu is both the spirit in the fire, in the Nachiketa fire, and he is the refuge of everybody who worships him, everybody who worships the imperishable Supreme Lord, because he gives security to the devotees. And also it is given in the Upanishads that we should know that the Jivatma is situated in the chariot of the body. I spoke of chariot. Now, what is the chariot? I will speak about this. The chariot of the body, and intelligence is the driver, and mind is the rein. Now, the wise say that the senses are the horses. In the material body, the senses are there, and the senses are the horses, and their objects are the road on which they are moving. The objects, sense objects, as you know, what are the 5 sense objects? For sight, that is the eyes, the sense objects are the form, color, shape, brightness, like this. And for ears, hearing, the objects are sound, pitch, volume, like this. And for nose, smell, the objects are odors and scents. And for tongue, taste, the objects are flavors, sweet, salty, sour, bitter, like this. And for skin, that is touch, the objects are textures, temperatures, pressures, that is hot, cold, smooth, rough, like this. Now, what I said so far, I said the wise people, they say that the senses are the horses and their objects are the road. On this road, the chariot moves. And they say that the spirit soul, when it joins with the senses and the mind, is devoid of spiritual intelligence, is the sufferer. Because he gets involved in the sense object, the individual soul, that is the individual, is the sufferer. because there are many other sentences in the Vedic literature which say that he who without any discrimination, without mind, uses his senses, he becomes uncontrolled. But he who discriminates and has his mind always harmonized, his senses are controlled like well-trained horses. Now, one who is without discrimination, with uncontrolled mind, he remains perpetually impure and he never reaches the goal but returns again to this world. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatharisayanam. That's what happens. But one who discriminates and his mind always harmonized and senses become pure, he certainly reaches the place where he is not born once again. He remains there forever. And the man who has reason for his charioteer and holds the reins of the mind, he reaches the end of the road, that is the highest place, that is Supreme Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Now, here the Vedic literature is confirming that Brahman is concentrated transcendental knowledge or unlimited knowledge or unlimited consciousness. And the Vedic knowledge is given by the Supreme Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart. What we saw, the Supreme Lord is in the heart and the individual soul is in the heart. And earlier we had read those sentences from the Svetasvatara Upanishad and Mundaka Upanishad about the two birds. Now the individual soul, he is busy in eating the fruit, but the Supreme Soul is looking at the individual soul. He is waiting when he will look at me, then I will guide him. We have to go to him. We have to look toward him. Then he will help. Otherwise, he will not help. And in Svetasvatara Upanishad also there is a very famous saying. It says that one must surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead if one wants liberation. That means if somebody wants to be liberated from this material world, he has to look toward the Supreme Lord. He should surrender to the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, it will not happen. And as far as the goal of ultimate knowledge is concerned, it is confirmed in the Vedic literature that only by knowing him only, knowing the Supreme Lord, one can surpass the boundary of birth and death. That means if anybody succeeds in knowing the Supreme Lord, there will be no birth and death for him forever. And he, because the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart as the supreme controller and eternal friend of the living entity, he is there to guide us. He is guiding us. And both the Paramatma, that is the super soul, and Jivatma, they are situated in the same tree of the body, within the same heart of the living being. And only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentation can, by the grace of the Supreme Lord, understand the glories of the soul. That means what it is saying, basically we have to be devoid of desires. But is it possible? It is not possible to be devoid of desires, because if one desire gets fulfilled, another comes in without any the gap. Then what should we do? We should have desires which are connected to the Supreme Lord, and that will be helpful to us. And I was talking about drinking. Two persons drink the results of karma in the cave of the heart. Now they know Brahman, and they who keep the sacrificial fires and they perform the sacrifices, they see the shade of light. And we also saw in Purva Bhaksha the companion, what we are talking here, must be either intelligence or life breath. Because they are assisting the jiva, because as he experiences the results of karma, what we are all doing, we are experiencing the results of our past karma, and for that, the life breath, if the life breath is not there, then this body is of no use. And intelligence, it has got a very great role in this. The companion cannot be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for the Supreme Lord never experiences the results of karma. Therefore, the companion must be either intelligence or life breath. That is what we came to know in the Purva Bhaksha. Now, what is in the Siddhanta? Let us learn that. Now, we are talking of the Jivatma and the Paramatma, or the Super Soul, or the Brahman. Now, Jivatma refers to the individual experiencing self, which is the core of identity, core of personal identity. While the Super Soul, or Paramatma, or Brahman signifies the highest unifying reality or source underlying all existence in there, which is there in the complete universe. And understanding these terms provides a foundation for exploring their roles within Vedanta. We have to understand these words very, very clearly. Otherwise, we will get confused. Now, the two aspects of the Lord within the heart signify the presence of both Jivatma and the Supreme Being. And the heart's cavity symbolizes the inner spiritual realm where Jivatman and Paramatma, they coexist. And the chariot analogy we saw in detail illustrates the journey of the Jivatma. That is how the Jivatma, he starts his journey. As I told you, the body is the chariot, the mind is the reins, and the senses are the horses. And the goal is through understanding, the goal of the liberation from the cycle of birth and death is achievable through understanding one's true nature and surrendering to the Supreme Lord. And the nature of the companion to the Jivatman in the cave of the heart, as we said about the verse in Kathopanishad, in detail I told you, the companion can be interpreted as either intelligence, buddhi, or prana, or the life breath, which aid the Jivatman in navigating experiences. That's why this doubt has come. Then let us go to the. Okay, this also we have seen. Okay. Now we go to the verse of today. Will be, as I told you, we'll be discussing about the verses 11 and 12 in today's class. What 11, Sutra 11 is saying, coexistence of the Jivatman and Paramatman. The sutra says, Guham Pravishta Atmano hi tad darsanath. That means the two persons that have entered the cave of the heart are the two selves, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Jivatman. Because this explanation is seen in Vedic literature. This now we have discussed enough. Now you are very, very clear what the sutra says. Now, this sutra asserts that the two entities within the cave of the heart are individual Jivatman and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the individual soul and the super soul. Now, the key concept, the term Tad Darsanat indicates that this understanding is corroborated by Vedic literature. It is given in very many places in the Vedic literature. That's why it is true. We spoke earlier, our only authority is the Vedic literature and nothing else. We should not take anything else. And if we want some explanation, we should take the explanations given by our previous acharyas. And the duality of the two entities is compared to shade and light, where one remains unaffected by the material cycle, that is the individual, that is the super soul, Brahman, he is the light, he is not affected by any material cycle whatsoever. But the individual soul or Jivatma is the shade. It got affected. As I was talking to you today, the say knowledge, the individual soul or the jiva, jiva is totally, he has got all the knowledge of the universe, everything he knows. But what has happened? It has been veiled by Maya. That's why we are not able to understand, we do not remember. And once that veil is removed, then without anybody teaching us anything, we will be able to recite the complete Bhagavad Gita, the complete Bhagavatam, all the Vedic literature, including the four Vedas, as it is. Nobody has to teach us. That is what is to be understood. And Kathopanishad 217 describes the Jivatman's entry into the heart, accompanied by life breath, prana and powers. Prana is also there. That's why, because as you know, this our body, individual body, it is already dead, and it is because of the prana, and prana is because the Supreme Lord is there inside. Once he goes away, then we say the individual has died. The Supreme Being also mentioned in Kathopanishad 1 to 12, highlighting his hidden presence in the heart. Let us know little more about this. Now, what we spoke? We spoke the two persons that have entered the cave of the heart are the two selves. That is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the Paramatma, and the Jiva, or the individual self. Now, because of this, explanation is given in the Vedic literature. Now, the commentary of the Acharyas, it says that the two persons that have entered the cave of the heart are, as we spoke so many times, the Jiva and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the Paramatma, and not the Jiva and intelligence, and not the Jiva and the life breath. Because this is given, this explanation is given in various literatures. Now we were talking of 217 of Kathopanishad. What does it say? It says that accompanied by life breath and a host of powers, the Jiva, who is the king of the senses, enters the cave of the heart. That means both the individual soul has entered the heart, and the Paramatma, he is already in the heart. That means both are there in the heart. And another verse we spoke 1 to 12. 1 to 12, what does it say? That the Supreme Lord has entered the cave of the heart. That means whatever sentence we are talking, they are given word by word in all these shastras, in the sutras. That's why there is no doubt to disbelief or any disbelief by anybody. Now it is also given the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Lord or Paramatma. He is the oldest person. There is nobody older than him. And he is worshipped in this world, in this material world. But he remains hidden in the cave of the heart. Therefore, a wise man should meditate on him in trance and spiritual yoga, and give up the material joy and grip. Then only he will be able to understand this Supreme Self, or the Supreme Lord. Like there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam in which Narada Muni is saying, "Oh Krishna, unlimited, you are unlimited. You are the source of all mystic powers. You are the Lord of the universe. You are the source, you are the shelter of all beings. and you are the best of the Yadus. You are the supreme soul of all created beings in multitude of universes, but you are sitting unseen within the cave of the heart, like the fire dormant within the kindling wood, and you are the witness within everyone, because he is seeing everything. We are not able to see, but he sees everything, and the Supreme Lord ultimately controls everything. Everything means the material nature, the demigods, everybody. This is also given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Supreme Lord, as we know, he never gets entangled in the actions and reactions of material nature, because he is the source and controller of material nature. But we, the jivas, we get entangled in the material world because of our karma. Karma cannot touch the Supreme Lord. And therefore these two persons which are in the heart, they have to be different. It means that one of the person is bound to the cycles of repeated birth and death, and the other is free from the cycle of repeated birth and death. And we were talking of the verse from Kathopanishad. As earlier I told you, this is a conversation between Yamaraj and Nachiketa, the son of a Brahmana. Now, the death god, he is telling Nachiketa the expansions of the Supreme Lord, Lord Vishnu, as the tiny living entity, that is the individual soul and the super soul, are both situated in the cave of the heart of this body. I am telling you again and again because these are given in various verses in the Vedic literature and not in one place only. And what happens thereafter once they have entered, having entered that cavity, in that cave, the living entity resting on the life airs enjoys the results of his own activities because he is getting the fruits of his karma. And what is happening to the super soul, who is also there? The super soul acting as the witness enables him to enjoy them. And the super soul is granting everything, anything, and everything which is wanted by the individual soul. And the super soul is the witness, he is seeing anything and everything. He knows past, present, and future. Whereas we know just a little about the present only, not about our past, not about our future. And those who are well versed in knowledge of Brahman, of the super soul, and those householders who carefully follow the Vedic regulations, say that the difference between the two is like the difference between the shadow and the sun. The sun is the super soul, and the shadow is the individual soul, because his capabilities are totally limited. And as we know, the super soul, the Supreme Lord, is the creator of this cosmic manifestation. The universes, multitude of universes, millions and billions of universes, rather billions and trillions of universes, and the super soul, he knows every nook and corner of his creation. Whereas if you ask us what is in every nook and corner of our own house, in which we have been living for years, we won't be knowing. But the Supreme Super Soul and the Supreme Lord, he knows. Although he is the cause of creation, there is no cause of his appearance. And he is fully aware of everything. And he is the Super Soul, the master of all transcendental qualities, and he is the master of this cosmic manifestation in regard to bondage to the conditional state of material existence by this individual soul, and liberation from that bondage. Everything is known to the super soul, the Supreme Lord, and this is everything is not known to the individual soul. Now, as we said, the two selves inside the heart are the Lord and the Jiva. Because why? Why? It is because it is given in the Shastra. When we speak about the Lord and the soul being together inside the heart, a controversy may arise. Some may consider that the two beings described as being inside the heart are not the soul and the super soul or the supreme Lord, but the soul and the buddhi or intelligence and the soul and the prana. In the passage in the Kathopanishad, also it is there that the knowers of Brahman, those knowledgeable persons who know the Supreme Lord Brahman, who tend the five fires and perform the threefold Nachiketa sacrifice, speak of two beings who have entered the cave of the heart, and which is the most excellent space for performing pious deeds and experiencing the results of karma. Here hinting at doing devotional service by the Supreme Lord. And they are described as I told you, the shed and the light. Light is the Supreme Lord, and the shadow is the individual soul. And we can see that here it describes the companion for the jiva inside the heart, because both are in the heart. That's why the jiva's companion is the Supreme Lord. And because it is possible to interpret the companion as being either buddhi, prana, or the super soul, that's why this doubt has come. Now, superficially, it appears that buddhi or prana may make more sense, because the heart is in the very small space, and thus how could it be the abode of the Supreme Lord who covers the complete universe? He is so big, but we also know that he is big also, small also. That means, in fact, the word guham, what I said earlier, actually means cave, confirming the analogy, but the Supreme Soul can also become atomic and stay there. That's how both are staying. Now, another possible argument in this line, in this from this verse of Kathopanishad may arise, that it is mentioned that they experience the results of karma, suggesting that the companion assists the jiva as one experiences the results of one's karma. Now, in this way, it could be argued that the companion can't be the Lord, because he never experiences the results of karma. This is what Purva is saying. And if we follow this logic, then one could conclude that the companion must be either buddhi or prana, which negates the existence of the super soul. Now, this is the standard conclusion of Nyaya and Mimamsa schools, where the existence of the super soul is not accepted. And Mayavadis, they don't directly negate the existence of the super soul, but they interpret in the light of Saguna Brahman theory. And according to them, Brahman is present inside the heart as Antaryami, acting as a witness and dispenser of the results of karma, as well as an object of meditation. And in their understanding, this Brahman inside the heart is viewed as being under the upadhi of Maya, affected by Maya, and not as Nirguna Brahman, which is pure, attributeless consciousness. And according to them, when the avidya is removed by the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, by studying the Vedanta, then one sees oneself in one's original nature as Brahman. That means this individual soul, he becomes Brahman. Now, in other words, their interpretation is that the references to the soul and the Paramatma inside the heart are merely pedagogic. Now, since they are ultimately one, they are one and the same. That's what they say, and they are explaining like this in their literature. And to sustain this view, They use examples such as the sun reflected in two pots of water and the air inside a pot being temporarily separated from the atmosphere, but at the same time being one with it. This example also, so suppose you keep some pots outside, then what happens? The sky is also there, and when you break the pot, the sky it merges with the sky above, like this. They are trying to explain like this. Now, this idea of Paramatma is the Supreme Lord, who is in his transcendental form. He is accompanying the soul inside the heart. It counters both theories. But if we accept that the soul is one inside the heart, accompanied by just the material intelligence or the vital airs, or that Paramatma is Saguna Brahman, we end up being misguided. Our logic would be totally wrong. That's why Vyasadeva is trying to say that the two companions inside the heart are the two selves. Why? Because this is clearly seen in very many passages in various shastras. And even if we were to accept the interpretation of Atman or Prana or Buddhi in this verse, what we spoke, still the construction of the word Atmanu would not allow them to be paired with the soul, since they are different in nature. Just as when we have two persons, we can call them people, but not when we have one person and a horse. We cannot say they are people. Okay, let us see. Okay, now we'll have a little break, and in the break period, you may ask any question or give comments, because time is quite adequate today. I have given the explanation of this verse in very different the way. I hope you have totally understood what has been discussed so far.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So we have time, I understand. So Prabhuji, still I have difficulty to understand. We understand soul and super soul, these two. But from where that concept of intelligence of prana, where the origin comes, that I don't understand. I know that Puru Paksha, they are trying to give, but there must be some anchoring, right? So from where these are initiated, instead of soul and super soul, they are talking about prana and intelligence. So how they are bringing that?
Like I gave you the example of 131 of the Kathopanishad. From that, actually, if you see anything and everything which is described or explained by these Mayavadis, Shankara's his disciples, they ultimately want to say that there is Nirguna Brahman, attributeless, does not have any qualities and all that. That's why they are trying to interpret in a much different way. They are saying, no, it cannot be the super soul, it has to be the intelligence or prana. And ultimately we saw how Vyasadeva has refuted that. And there are various examples in the Shastras. There are so many examples in the various Upanishads, basically Kathopanishad, Svetasvatar Upanishad, like that. And they say that it has to be the Supreme Lord, because the Supreme Lord is guiding, he is approving authority of the individual soul, and he is there. That means in the same cave, both the Paramatma and Jivatma, both are there, and not intelligence and Jivatma, and not Prana and Jivatma. It is not that. This is what is the gist of what we have spoken till now.
So just because Upanishad mentions two, so they are pulling those two and putting into the heart, right? As a two. That's what we understand.
No, this example is also given as it is in the heart. It is given. It is there in the Upanishad.
Okay, that is
You,
okay.
you see this
Correct.
the Vedanta. that is the Upanishads, they have to be understood in the correct context. If you change the context, the meaning becomes different. And that's what the Mayavadis they are doing. They want to misinterpret it by interpreting the context as something else.
Correct. Got it. So intelligence prana with a different context they are together, but instead of with our present context we are talking the supremacy, right? So jiva distinction between jiva and Paramatma. So I understand that. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comment or question, Subha? Whatever we have learned in Sutra 11.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Many times I think, but it is not clear in my mind. Is what is the difference between the soul and the prana? Are they dependent on each other? Are they different?
Okay. In one of the verses earlier also we said prana is what? The Supreme Lord, Brahman.
Yes.
In that way, the meaning is that only. But otherwise, in our understanding, what happens? This life air, there are 5 life airs. Now, when somebody dies, the super soul goes away. Because the super soul goes away, the individual soul goes away, and that's why prana also goes away. And the prana, till the time the life air is there, we say the individual is alive. And once the life air goes, the individual, we say he has died. It is the body, it is not that person. That's what we say. And this is what is the difference. And prana in this sense is the Supreme Lord only. That's what we have learned earlier in some sutra.
तो प्रभु जी अगर बॉडी से प्राणा निकल जाता है, लाइफ एयर निकल जाता है, तो द पर्सन इज डाइड. बट व्हाट इज अबाउट सोल? सोल कहाँ जाता है? सोल
Okay.
जो
Okay, soul kahan jata after die? The mind, intelligence, and the 3 things, antakarana, the mind, intelligence, and what? What is the 3rd thing?
Ahankar. Man buddhi ahankar.
Ego. Yes,
And
sir.
ego. Yeah.
Ego means the false ego. These 3 things and the individual soul, they go away. And they are given a different body after death. And their judgment is made by Yamaraj. And if he is eligible, he goes to the higher worlds, that is the kingdom of the demigods, or he comes back to the material world, or he gets liberated. He goes to the spiritual world. That means the Manabuddhi, Ahankara, and the soul, they together they go. That is where which is the place of the soul. Whereas the super soul, he vanishes, and once the another body is created, then the super soul again comes. That is what it is. And about this life air, if we talk of prana that way, it is the Supreme Lord. But if we talk about the prana as just life air, it is air only, it is some air, then it becomes material. I hope I have been able to convey this to you.
prana, Prabhuji, prana, here we take prana as a supreme soul.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, there are many explanations, and the correct explanation is in this context, because please remember, here in Vedanta Sutra, what we are talking of is contextually. In that context, prana is the Supreme Lord, Brahman.
Okay.
So
It means
as
when prana goes out of the body, body is died, then after that, prana, no, sorry, soul goes, man, buddhi, chit, and ahankar goes.
Yes, yes, they go at the same time, and that's how the body becomes lifeless, and we say the individual has died.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. It is clear now. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other question or comments?
प्रभु जी जब ये सूक्ष्म शरीर छोड़ के जाता है बॉडी को, ग्रोथ शरीर को, तो जब अगर दूसरा शरीर तुरंत मिलता है तो परमात्मा तुरंत साथ ही रहते हैं ना उनके?
Yes, when one gets a different body, another body, whether that is human or subhuman or tree or anything, the super soul again goes there. That means our permanent. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, if it's possible, looks like it's possible because you have only few slides and we have plenty of time. So if possible for you, could you leave about 15 minutes for me towards the end?
Okay, Prabhuji. Will.
Did you understand what I said?
Yes.
If
Yes.
it's possible. Otherwise, we can talk somewhere, something other
Okay.
time, you know?
Yes,
If
Prabhuji.
possible. 15 minutes only.
There is actually enough time today. Okay. We come to the next slide, that is slide 6. Now, Sutra 1 to 12, distinction between the Jivatman and Paramatman. And more things will be clearer in these slides. Visheshancha, that means Visheshanat means meaning because of distinctive qualities, cha also because of the differences between them. We were talking of the super soul and the individual soul inside the cave. And this sutra is saying there is difference between the two. There are, because they comprise of different qualities. They are distinct qualities of the super soul, they are distinct qualities of the individual soul. That's what it says. And the sutra clarifies the roles of the Jivatman and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, distinguishing the Jivatman as the mediator and the Supreme as the object of meditation. That means the object of meditation for the individual soul is the super soul. That's why the super soul and the individual soul, they are not the same. They are totally different. And the key concepts, the Jivatman is described as having a limited sphere of knowledge, while the Supreme is the goal of meditation. The Supreme is full of knowledge, whereas the Jivatman, it has got very limited knowledge on very specific subjects. On each and every subject, he also does not have knowledge. And this reinforces the relationship between the individual soul and the super soul as one of dependence. That is, the individual soul is dependent on the super soul. Jivatman is dependent on the super soul, on the transcendental nature, that is the supreme. And Katha Upanishad 131 affirms their distinction using the Chaya Tapo, that is shade and light. Shade and light means shade is the individual soul, Jivatma, and light is the supreme soul, emphasizing the supreme's all-knowing nature in contrast to Jivatman's limited knowledge. Additional verses from the Katha Upanishad and Mundaka Upanishad highlight the importance of transcendental knowledge and meditation aimed at realizing the supreme. Now we will talk more about this. We have got a lot of time. Now, this sutra, what is it giving, this 12th sutra? A distinction between the Jivatma and the Paramatma. The two entities which are in the cave of the heart, they are distinct. They are not the same. because one is dependent on the other. The Jivatman is characterized as the mediator, while the Supreme Lord is the object of meditation. We meditate on the Supreme Lord. That's why the Supreme Lord is the object of meditation, and the individual soul is the meditator. And this distinction is crucial for understanding that the individual soul's role and the super soul's role are different in the spiritual journey. Then, what are the qualitative differences? The qualitative differences, it is necessary to understand the qualitative differences also. The individual soul or the embodied self possessing finite cognition, and the Supreme, He is all knowing, He is the transcendental Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Jivatman possesses limited knowledge, while the Supreme Lord is all knowing. He knows anything and everything of past, present, and future. And this qualitative difference underscores the hierarchy and relationship between the two. And what is the support from the Vedic literature? As I said, it is given in the Kathopanishad, and the text they provide a foundation for understanding the role of the Jivatman and the Paramatma, that is the Supreme, and this reinforces the argument presented in this sutra. In contrast, Advaita Vedanta, the commentators, they interpret these same passages in describing the apparent distinction between the individual self and the Supreme as ultimately illusory, asserting a fundamental non-duality. They say that the Supreme Lord is also affected by his own Maya, whereas we know that this is not the correct understanding. The Supreme Lord's Maya always remains behind him, does not come in front of him even, and it cannot affect him. And by briefly considering these perspectives, the dualistic reading of the Advaita Vedanta further gets strengthened through contrast. Now, let us go to the next slide. The two sutras taken together, that is 11 and 12, emphasize the relationship between the Jivatman and the Supreme Personality of Godhead through meditation and spiritual realization. This is what we are talking. Both sutras, they center on the heart as the locus of spiritual existence, where the Jivatman and the Supreme, that is the Paramatma, they reside in the same place. Then next point is that distinguish the Jivatman's experiential journey from the super soul's transcendental nature. That means the Jivatma and the Paramatma, they are different. And the Jivatma makes efforts to reach the Supreme Lord through meditation and other techniques. And the Vedic references ground these interpretations in scripture and support the conclusions drawn. Now, what is the conclusion? The collective analysis of Sutras 11 and 12 clarifies the Vedantic relationship between the individual Jivatman and the Supreme Being. The Jivatman's role as mediator is contrasted with the Supreme as the object of meditation, highlighting the need for surrender to attain true knowledge and liberation. Now, what is our aim? To get true knowledge and liberation. How the individual soul can get it? This is by surrender only. If we surrender to the Supreme Lord, then only we will become knowledgeable and we will be liberated from the material clutches. Now, we are talking of the duality of existence. They present two distinct entities within the cave of the heart. the individual soul and the super soul of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this duality is central to understanding the relationship between the individual and the divine, because they are totally different in nature. And each sutra, as we saw, emphasized the difference between the Jivatman and the Supreme, while the verse 11 identifies them as two selves, and 12 elaborates of their distinctive qualities. The Jivatman is the meditator, restless, and he is searching for the Supreme Lord, while the Supreme is steady, is unmoving object of meditation. And this relationship is very, very important. And this relationship can be likened to a mirror and the reflected face. When you stand in front of a mirror, you see the reflected the image of yourself. The Jivatman, the reflection, is ever changing and dependent, whereas the Supreme, like the original face, remains constant and the very source of reflection. Now, returning to the metaphor which is given, which we spoke, this can clear our doubt, and this distinction is foundational for spiritual understanding. If we understand this, then the difference between the individual soul and the super soul, that can be understood. And as we said, these are the meanings they are given in various shastras. Now we are talking about the verse in Kathopanishad. The Kathopanishad discussion, the Jiva and the Supreme Lord, they are carefully distinguished there. The Jiva is described as the meditator. He is meditating on the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord is the object of meditation. Thus, they are different. And as we saw earlier, Kathopanishad in the 12th verse, it distinguishes the same thing as I said, the meditator and the object of meditation. And also in Kathopanishad 131, which we have been referring many times in today's class, it says they are again distinguished how being the shade and light, and one being all-knowing and the other having only a small limited amount of knowledge. And the person who has transcendental knowledge as his charioteer and who carefully holds the reins of the mind reaches the end of the path. And this way, it is very, very clear that both are different, and the individual soul is always dependent on the Supreme Soul. Now, what in the final conclusion, what Vyasadeva is trying to say? Vyasadeva is trying to say that the two companions, the soul and the super soul, are there in the cave, and the soul is dependent on the super soul. That's why he should practice, he should indulge in devotional service to understand him, and then only he will be liberated. And as we came to know in various verses, this says the same thing, that both these two entities who are in the heart, they are different. One being under the illusion, while the other maintains his transcendental position because he is the Supreme Lord. He is not affected by anything else. And thereafter, they say that he who has higher knowledge, Vijnana, is his driver, and the controlled mind is his reins. He crosses the material ocean of samsara and attains the Supreme Lord, not the other person. because the Lord has created the material senses and turned them outward. Because of this, one sees only external objects and not the inner self. But a wise person who wants immortality, who wants liberation, he withdraws the senses from the external objects and sees inwards. Sees inwards means sees the Supreme Lord. Go back to that example of two birds on the people tree. One is not looking at the other. The individual soul is busy eating the fruits of that people tree. Now, if we withdraw our senses from the external objects, that is the fruit which the bird is eating, and he sees the inwards, that means he sees the super soul, then the super soul is ever ready to help him under all circumstances. Now, but this super soul, he can't be understood by the eyes, he can't be understood by speech or by any other material senses. He can't be attained by austerity, he can't be attained by doing pious actions. He can be seen only by the grace of this transcendental knowledge attained when one becomes completely free from the influence of passion and ignorance. That means we should try to free ourselves from passion and ignorance. And then what will happen? Then such a pure soul can see the Lord's indivisible form inside his own heart by fixed meditation. Why? Because he is in the heart, that's what we spoke. Then all these verses that speak about seeing or attaining the Lord, making clear that he is different from the jiva. Even the most obstinate opponent will be forced to eventually accept this argument, this fact, since the list of references that can be brought from the verses is practically unlimited in nature. So this has to be understood by all of us. And the role of meditation, we were talking of meditation. The Sutra 11, it introduces the idea that Jivatma and Paramatma, Jivatma and the Supreme Lord, they coexist within the heart. While 12 expands the idea of meditation, the Jivatman actively engages in meditation to realize the Supreme Lord, and it creates a dynamic interplay between the two, that is the Jivatma and the Paramatma. And the shade of light we are saying is given in the various places. It represents the contrasting experience of the Jivatman, who is bound by material existence, and the Supreme, who is transcendental, who is totally free in all respects. It reinforces the qualitative differences between them, and further illustrating their distinct roles as shade, and it recedes before the gradual awakening in the heart, in the cave of the heart. And both sutras, they collectively emphasize the Jivatman's journey towards spiritual realization. That means we should be engaged in devotional service, we should meditate on the Supreme Lord, then we'll be able to reach Him. And the verse 11 establishes the foundational understanding, and verse 12 outlines the qualitative aspects of the shape of Jivatman's pursuit of the Supreme. And in pursuing to consider this, doctrine becomes an invitation to our path of self-discovery. If we want to discover ourselves, if we want to know what is Paramatma, what is Atma, then we have to follow this argument. Let us go to the next slide. Okay. Now, the interconnectedness between the two sutras, distinct roles, while Sutra 11 establishes the entities involved, that is Jivatma and the Supreme. Sutra 12 clarifies their roles. This we saw. And the Vedic references we saw in Kathopanishad and various other Upanishads also. Then the concept of knowledge, the distinction between Jivatma's limited knowledge and the Supreme's all-knowing nature is essential for the Jivatma's spiritual growth and realization. We have to understand this. We have to understand that we are not the Supreme Lord. We can never become the Supreme Lord. We are always different. And metaphors and analogies, the analogies of shade and light and the parasol bearers link the two sutras by illustrating their relationship and the supreme unaffected nature. And in conclusion, the connected analysis shows the heart as the site of this relationship, the distinct roles of Jivatman and Supreme, and the scriptural support for meditation and surrender as means to liberation and spiritual insight. That means if we want to reach the Supreme Lord, we should practice devotional service. So with this, I come to an end of today's class. We have got enough time for comments or any question. Thank you very much for listening so patiently. Any question or comment?
Prabhu was a very, I think, a very simpler version today, and thanks for explaining nicely. It all uh, fits well that we are the meditator and the Lord is one who we need to meditate on. And then object of meditation. And then if you tie in with, you also tied in nicely with our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy of Chintya Veda Veda that even in any situation, the identity of the individual jiva and the Lord is always intact. It's different. Yes, and
They're always different and distinct.
Yeah, but one thing I was not clear to me. You said in the previous, like the first half, where when like when like Mirabai, you gave an example that they get merged, but it's not merged. So it's like I think as explained in this thing Laghu Bhagavad Amrita, there also the identity is there, but they experience enormous bliss, right? That's how it is, correct? Like, can you elaborate a bit more? Like they don't merge, but then what happens in the like in the that Brahman or the light stage?
Okay. In Advaita Vedanta, what they say, they can merge and still be different. That's what is the actual position. Mirabai and many other devotees, they have merged into the Supreme Lord. Their bodies were not found. All these stories are there. How this is explained? They are merged, that is all right. But that does not mean that merging is like what the the Advaitavadis they think. They think that once one is merged with the Supreme Lord, then their identity is lost. This is not so in case of a devotee. Even it seems they merged with the Supreme Lord, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself got merged with the Supreme Lord. Though he is the Supreme Lord himself, that is different thing. But and thereafter Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and that Supreme Lord are different. We are not saying that. But for the Jiva and the Super Soul, we are saying that they will remain always different. And in these mergings of these great devotees, in that case, even though we saw them merging, even though they did not leave their body, still then they remain separate and in the capacity of serving the Supreme Lord after that also. That is what is the meaning.
Prabhuji, may I interject here?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Prabhuji, all of you, if you may remember, just a couple of days back, I shared some slides way ahead. I was working on lesson 75. Okay, and there the verse from the Upanishad is there. I am He in the Supreme. So that sounds like merging, right? But it's not. So in the detail, that whole lesson is all about that. But I shared with all of you,
Yes,
being
Prabhu.
so important subject matter, and a very commonly asked question, what Prabhuji is asking, Saji Prabhu is asking, it could be misunderstanding, and that lesson 75 makes it very clear. So I shared a few key slides from that ahead of time, So Sanjeev Prabhuji, I recommend you go through the slides. It's not that many, just 3 or 4 slides I shared, but that explains exactly. Devotees, when he say merging, that's not same as what the impersonalist are saying merging. They merge into the Brahmajyoti, right? But here it's not. Mirabai example that we talked about it. It's also like that. When you become Krishnaized, your very existence is being serving more to the Lord. The whole thing you forget sometimes your own self and constantly in touch with the Supreme Lord, the very elevated souls we are talking about, okay? Not like you and me, very elevated souls. So their merging is very different than what the impersonal is talking about, okay? So I suggest, all of you just go through those slides. Just understand. It's very easy to understand the way I put it in that slides. Exactly. So aham, I am he. Then you'll see your questions are answered right there.
Yes, Prabhu. That talks about devotional.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the details.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Such a wonderful class. Prabhuji, when you said the body is the chariot and the intelligence is the driver, the horses is the senses. So my problem starts when we are identifying with the chariot that this is my body. What happens when I negate that? What happens if I say I am not the chariot, I am not the body? Then how the equation changes?
Yes, when we totally understand that we are not this body, we are the pure soul, then all problems they vanish. It becomes very clear. But even at that time, the super soul, the Supreme Lord is different. I am different. I am his servant. He is my master. My job is to render service to please him. Then everything gets very clear. Otherwise, if we get involved in thinking that we are the body, then all these things will come on. And all these examples are given to make us understand what should be the correct thing, what should be the correct interpretation of these verses of the Vedic literature.
Yeah, but Prabhuji,
Let me, sorry. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
No, so I just saying that passenger, right? That soul is a passenger in that chariot. That's what the analogy was mentioned.
Exactly.
So
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So it's like you're sitting in the car, right? The car is being driven. You're sitting in the car, but you don't become a car. You are in it. So chariot is actually like a physical body. You are there. You're situated in that as a passenger. So Radha Vinod Prabhuji has put it exactly right. That's what the meaning is there. Understood, Samantha Mataji?
Yeah, so when I say that I am not the chariot. So do I get rid of the karmic burden?
No, as long as you are in material existence, you remain in your body, so as if like a passenger or so, see, now there's electric cars are there, right? Self-driven cars, Tesla.
Yeah.
My nephew has bought this car, so I took a ride in his car, and he wasn't driving at all. The car was being driven by itself. So this physical body is like that. You are there. Okay, you are not identifying, I am not this car. You are not saying that I am this car. Okay, but sometimes in your kind of poor understanding, this is my car. When you say it's my car, you are identifying with yourself with the car, but you are there as a passenger in it. As long as you have material existence, you are situated there all the time during your material existence. So sometimes you feel like that it's my car, but it's not your car. You are just a passenger in it, and it's being driven. And we don't know who is driving. The body is functioning is because of the arrangement of the Supreme Soul. And Supreme Soul Paramatman is going to be there with you as long as you are in material existence. You could be changing the cars. Sometimes you are in this car. After the car becomes too old, then you get to another car, So this is different body. But all the time, you don't identify yourself that I am this car.
Yeah, so when I don't identify, I get rid of my false ego and I just
Yes.
go
Yeah.
whatever, however it is designed for me.
Yeah, and as long as you misidentify yourself, the karmas are going to be there with you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you get rid of those, when you don't have this material karmas, then there is no need for that car with you. The body is with you. Then you, Paramatma also lives at that time when you become liberated, quote unquote liberated. Liberation. What does the liberation means?
I will not get a body again.
Yes. So when there is no more karmas, when there is no karmic desires, then there's no need for this material existence. There's no need for that car, And you live. The car is there. You are there, and to help you guide the car while you're sitting in the car is being driven by some unknown force. So that unknown force is a supreme self, a supreme body, Paramatman. He is there to guide you during your material existence. As long as you are in that car, he's guiding you all the time. But when you don't identify yourself with the car, then there is no need for that car, and there is no need for the Paramatman. So Paramatman also lives there during your when you become liberated, then you get a spiritual form. And that spiritual form, that body, quote unquote, is totally different than this car with it. We are being driven in this car today, in this material existence, is totally different than when you become liberated. You are in the spiritual body, spiritual form. So you understand now?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll give another example. Like you have heard in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the story of Haridas Thakur. Now, Haridas Thakur, a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, he can never think that this body is me. He was in his own world, and he was beaten up in 21 marketplaces. That means that much of beating which no human being can endure. But what happened? Nothing happened to him. He was still alive. That will happen if somebody has that type of feeling that he accepts that he is the soul, he is not the body. Then whatever happens to the body will not affect that individual at all. That is what is the difference.
Same as that King Rahugana was asking that, right?
Yes.
Remember, same question, and how Jadbharata was answering that question. Very similar.
Yes.
Same way this the question when Parishad Maharaj was taking going around in his kingdom, and he meets this very strange scenery. There was a bull. He was actually personified. Dharma personified himself, and that the person who was beating him was Kali Purusha, So that time Parishad Maharaj was surprised. He actually asked him, "What is going on? Who has given this kind of situation? Is your condition like that?" The bull's 3 legs were cut off. So same with the dharma, it does not identify who is the culprit. Okay?
Yes.
But he was explaining that exactly. So this several examples are there, but 2-3 very well-known example is this one, King Rahugana, that even if you don't identify yourself, but you are experiencing as a soul, you are experiencing what's going on, So then the question obviously arises that what's going on? So Chadabharata was answering him exactly the same what Prabhuji is explaining you, Haribo.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other question or comments? Rajkumari Mataji, you had some question we said we'll discuss at the end.
Prabhuji, I have discussed. This is the question which I asked: difference between soul and prana.
The difference between?
Soul and prana.
Acha, soul and prana. That's what I told you.
That is, yes, that is clear, Prabhuji. आपने वो बता दिया.
Okay. Okay, any other question or comment? Actually, these were simple sutras.
Very simple.
And there was enough
हरे
time
कृष्णा
to
प्रभु जी,
explain.
दंडवत
Yes,
प्रणाम।
yes.
प्रभु जी, तो फिर जब तक हम कंफर्म नहीं कन्विंस नहीं हो जाता कि वी आर नॉट दिस बॉडी, वी आर सोल, तब तक हमें ये जो पेन इन प्लेजर है वो आते रहेंगे।
Yes, that is very true. We know it is given in the Bhagavad Gita. We know that is true, but we are not fully convinced in our heart of hearts. That's why we are going through all these tribulations in material life.
ओके प्रभु
प्रभुजी,
जी,
कई बार सॉरी माता जी, गो ऑन
प्लीज गो कैरी ऑन।
प्रभु जी, कई बार ऐसा मैंने ही खुद अनुभव किया, जैसे मेरे इसमें नी में पेन होता है, तो पेन सीढ़ी चढ़ने के टाइम थोड़ा पेन हो रहा था, तो मैंने कहा ये मैं थोड़ी हूँ, मेरी बॉडी नहीं है, लेकिन मुझे पेन तो हो ही रहा है फिर भी। ये मन में फीलिंग तो आई कि नहीं?
Exactly same question King Rahugana was telling Bharat Maharaj, Same, exactly.
Yes, it is very difficult for us to believe that we are not the body, we are the soul. We have nothing to do with the body because the soul has seen so many millions and billions of bodies in the past, and this is one of them.
Yes.
प्रभु जी, किचन में सब्जी काटते समय जरा भी चप्पू लग गया तो कितना पेन होता है, थोड़ा सा कट होता है तो कितना पेन होता है।
Yes.
Prabhuji, the shade and light concept, which we were discussing, does it mean that Lord is present in our heart as light, giving us knowledge, or something like that? I couldn't understand that properly.
Okay, you see, it is not that he will give knowledge. We are already knowledgeable, but we are veiled. A curtain has been raised. But if we look toward him with his mercy, that veil will go away and that knowledge will appear. Because he has already given that knowledge, because the Supreme Lord is all knowledgeable, that quality is already there in the Jiva. He is already knowledgeable, but he has forgotten everything. And once that remembrance comes, he will be able to recite anything and everything given in the Shastra. He doesn't have to go to school and study. Like there are many examples where people are totally uneducated. They have not gone to the school, even class 1, but at the appropriate time, they have recited verses from the Vedic literature. That is possible.
प्रभु जी कबीर जी बिल्कुल वो थे, लेकिन उन्होंने जो से काफी दोहे लिखे हुए हैं, दोहे मतलब दिस कमेंट्री वी कैन से, तो वो बिल्कुल ही अनपढ़ थे, तो वही है.
It is so-called unpad in our language, but he was not unpad actually. What is the life history of
Yes,
Sant Kabir? He was not born from a mother and father. He was born from the flowers which had been taken out from the temple, from the Lord. And in that place he appeared. He is a constant companion, permanent companion of the Supreme Lord. He doesn't have to go to any school to study. So it is like that. Yes, people understand him that way. That is very correct.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, ये पता ही नहीं था कि वो पेरेंट्स वो फ्लावर से हुए ऐसे.
और अंत में भी जब वो देह छोड़े तब भी सिर्फ सब लोग झगड़ा कर रहे थे कि ये हमारी बॉडी है, हिंदू मुस्लिम, तो तभी उसमें से सिर्फ फ्लावर निकला था, है ना प्रभु जी?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Prabhuji, it's only 10 minutes remaining. I want to say something.
Yes, Prabhu.
We already discussed, and we'll be discussing this issue till we finish Govind Bhasya. This question will arise from varieties of angles, and it has been answered from varieties of angles, So we'll be keep hearing about that, right? Yeah, I was just listening to during the recap that Raksha Mataji was doing, and I was stuck with wonder, how intelligently she was conducting that, and many of you were answering her questions, so intelligent, Paraspar, speaker, Raksha Mataji, and the questions she was asking and was being answered by some of you, including Rajkumari ji, बहन जी आप सुन रही है ना?
जी भाई जी.
इतनी इंटेलिजेंटली आप पार्टिसिपेट कर रही थी उसमें,
थैंक यू भाई जी.
मेरे कहने का मतलब ये है कि आपने जो कैपेबिलिटीज है, each one of you, it seems to me that you don't even realize your own capabilities. And I know capabilities of each one of you. So when I assign a particular lesson to be conducted, I know exactly that you are capable, then only I assign you, All right. And I give you all the tools in the form of my PowerPoints. So I'm not leaving you totally helpless. My power points are always with you. So why this issue has come up repeatedly, and that has disappointed me somewhat, So the action that I took is because of my disappointment. I'm trying my best to cultivate, to develop that, I can do it. I can do it, that can do spirit. And every time you have been disappointing me, all these years I've been trying so hard. When I assign you, I know exactly you are going to be able to do it. So Samata Mataji, Samata Mataji, are you listening?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, I'm here.
First of all, this lesson that I assigned you, and actually I did not assign you. If you see my name, I had already taken you off. I was going to do it myself, the in the reassigned uh, uh, calendar. But nonetheless, even if I asked you to do it, and there was not much time, but that was a very easy lesson that ultimately Sanju, Sharad Prabhuji did it today. Very few slides,
Yeah,
and
sorry,
all the
sorry,
knowledge
Prabhuji.
that you have, everybody, Samadhavati, you are also fully knowledgeable. So why doubting yourself that I
Sorry,
cannot do it?
Prabhuji.
कहने का मतलब ये है कि आपको ट्राई करना चाहिए.
Sure, Prabhuji, next time it will not happen.
When you don't even try yourself, how will you learn? Each one of you.
I will also
I
try.
want to request all of you. ये कितना अच्छा चल रहा था हमारा.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. We will try our best.
All our teammates were really very intelligently committed doing their job. So fully capable. Then only I assign you, and I assign these lessons very carefully, thinking who is capable of doing that. Raksha Mataji, in the beginning, I was not sure how she will conduct herself because her English is not that proficient, fluent. But the way she's doing it, conducting in Hindi, is showing her intelligence, her thorough understanding of the subject matter that she's doing. So then I started assigning lessons to her. And that also was very careful. Particular lesson, there are not too many slides, so she can handle it. And she handled so wonderfully. She has never disappointed me. And in your recap seva that Sharad Prabhu is assigning all of you, that recap seva also he is selecting very carefully. And recap seva is training you how to present a lesson. So think about it. You should have a self-confidence. All these years that you've been with me, Sanjeev Prabhuji, Sharad Prabhuji, of course, it's a totally different ball game. Radha Vinod Prabhuji, Prasad Prabhuji. You heard Prasad Prabhuji a few weeks back, how intelligently he conducted that lesson. Very practical examples he was giving. Rajiv Prabhuji. Now he has so many preaching responsibilities. That's why he was not able to do it. But he is very capable. And so is Prasad Prabhuji. Even though he also does have a lot of preaching responsibilities at his local temple in Hyderabad. But how wonderfully he's doing it. So every one of you, when very carefully select in a particular lesson I give you, that's just tailor-made for you. So don't doubt yourself. Try. And even if when you give a lesson and you have difficulty in handling a discussion period, Sharad Prabhuji, we are there to help you. But unless you try yourself, your self-confidence, you have to learn how to how to become self-confidence, how to have this sure about yourself that you'll be able to handle your responsibility. If you don't try yourself, how then I cannot have the confidence in you of you then when you're not trying yourself. That's the reason I had to take this very drastic action. All the rest of the Govind Bhasya, I'm going to conduct myself. But you see the drawback in that? You're losing that opportunity to learn how to present yourself, how to handle yourself in a difficult situation.
Prabhuji,
Think about it, all these things, okay?
Prabhuji, we will learn, Prabhuji, please.
sir, understood. I'll request you to reverse your decision and
No,
allot
that's
the classes
I
to.
reversed many times. Sanjeev probably knows, he knows me for last 2 decades now. Sanjeev probably, how many times I reversed myself? वो एक कहानी सुनी है ना आपने, एक लड़का था कि आग लगी है, आग लगी है, आग लगी है. When there was no fire in that. So after a while, people were tired of that. And when there was a real fire, when he was seeking help, nobody came. So if I keep reversing myself, I become like a paper tiger.
I agree that, Prabhuji, but I just have one request. Like, let's at least hear the reason why a person may not be able to do. There might be a valid reason, no? I mean, I don't know the whole background here.
I'm giving all the tools to it to present yourself, right?
No. But I
When
agree.
you have my PowerPoints, even if you just read it, you'll be able to do it.
Prabhuji, I would request you not to punish other people because of me.
I'm not punishing anyone. I'm not punishing you also either. But
I did the mistake, Prabhuji.
मिस्टेक तो सबसे होती है, मिस्टेक तो सबसे होती है, मगर at some point you have to learn.
Yes, Prabhuji, I
Prabhuji, we are
understand.
doing that, no? Like, whatever you say, we are following and doing. I don't know what has happened here. So, all I see is that you have pulled us, all of us. That is all we see.
No,
Now,
actually,
there
what
might be a good.
happened is
How many times I reversed
One minute, I
myself?
want to stop the recording.
अभी कुछ few weeks back also happened the same situation. I suggested something and you outrightly all rejected me. Outrightly you rejected me. And then actually it turned out that I was right. So we have, this is an issue of trust. When I say something, you need to trust me at least. Unless you trust your teacher.
Probably wait. See, I am finding it. We all have huge respect for you, Prabhu, and your authority is.
No, I'm not seeking
like
respect.
fully. And whatever you decide, we follow that. But वो जो last issue आप बोल रहे हैं, there was a recommendation कि Friday का class नहीं ले तो चलेगा क्या? तो there was no mandate कि don't come to the class or something like that. So then I mean I am not feeling you clear कि जब भी आप बोलते हैं कि we should have an open channel, why cannot someone recommend, okay, let's not have X, let's have Y. Then when you explain कि okay, this is the impact, then everybody agrees. Yesterday, Prabhuji, Sarath, we can share the recording. Yesterday was 100% like this Friday, right? And then this one, whenever we do the allocation, everybody does. There is a very rare situation when people have. So in this also, if someone, it is not a question of trust. It is a question whether a candidate performs poorly or does not perform. That is the point. Right? It is not that we don't have trust in your PPT or ourselves. We have been learning, but like everyone has a different. You may be able to just photo scan a particular book, a copy. For that same book, I might take a month to prepare. No? So like we have to align that. And Sarath Prabhu, as you said, has been doing great job understanding and allocating. So there may be at least we should hear from the person or give them time and opportunity before you totally pull back or penalize. But if you think that is the what we deserve, then like, okay, I have no objection to that. What we will do that. But I think if we say the class is open, then everybody must have opportunity at least to put their word, and then you explain, and then everybody agrees or disagrees. More or less, everyone agrees. Prabhu. That is my take. Tell me where am I missing?
Okay, this is something to think about it. Think for the next several weeks, okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. No, but Prabhu, if you like, we accept our point. We can always improve and will improve. But please, like, don't punish yourself and everyone. Like, that is my thought.
Yes, Prabhuji, I mean, I agree. It was absolute lack of confidence in myself that I immediately could not accept it. So please pardon me for that.
And I've been trying to build your confidence. When I
Yes,
assign
Prabhuji.
something to you,
Yes,
I never
Prabhuji,
leave you. I never leave you helplessly. I provide both myself and Sarat Prabhuji is providing you all the tools. Even the
Prabhuji, from
beginning period,
next
Sarat
time it
Prabhuji
will
was
not
training all
happen.
of you.
I assure you, next time it will not happen. At least from my side, it will not happen.
Okay.
प्रभु जी
Now,
वन पॉइंट प्रभु जी
At the same
जस्ट
time, I'll
एक
request.
फियर रहता है प्रभु जी कि हम अच्छे से नहीं कर पाएंगे तो ऐसा मतलब एक फियर होता है तो हमें वी ट्राई कि हम अच्छे से प्रिपेयर कर पाए प्रभु जी दैट्स व्हाई
रक्षा बहन मेरी बात
हाँ
सुन लो
हाँ
मैं कि if father is training his kid to ride a bicycle,
हाँ
okay, bike.
यस यस प्रभु जी यू आर
You know,
राइट
what does he do in the beginning? He's holding the seat, right? On the seat, his child is sitting, and he's giving the impression to the child that he is now riding the bike. Okay. Okay. At some point, when he knows, father knows confidently that the child will be able to ride the bike, then he takes away his hands. Okay. But the child is always afraid that I'll fall down, I'll fall down. You stay with me, I'll fall down. Then how is he going to learn to ride a bike? So I also was holding your chair, your seat, and let you ride the bike. But you are not willing, doubting. So then the father will realize that it's not proper time, but time will come. So that's the approach that I took, Saji Prabhuji, that probably not the time right now. So let me conduct. And GB lessons are not easy. I recognize that. But look how I'm doing that. In the beginning, I also had the fear, same thing. It's very difficult. But now I know the technique. Everything has a technique. By brute force is never going to work. You need to use your intelligence. And I'm training you to develop that intelligence, self-confidence. No matter what happens, you are going to be able to do it. Look at how much responsibility I've now undertaken myself. Time is the very precious commodity for me. But even then, when I took this action, drastic action, that all the lessons I will conduct, I've been preparing PowerPoints for 555 sutras and a remarkable speed at which I've been working. Because now I learned what it is. I really experienced the very writing style of Govind Bhasya, Baladev Vidyabhushan ji. Adhikarana is the same technique he's using throughout all 550 sutras. These 5 elements that he's using. Vishaya, he's defining the subject matter. Different subject matters. And you notice that within very few sentences, he's explaining what is the subject matter. If you read the original, the wisdom library, you will learn very quickly. You will learn yourself common intelligence, and then he presents a samshaya, an honest doubt whether jivatma. Why not jivatma could be this? Why Paramatma has to be like that? And the third component, Puropaksha, he picks up a particular point and he presents a very powerful evidence from Upanishads. And he said, why not this Jivatma cannot be like this? But then Siddhanta, the author, Vyasadeva, Baldev Vidyabhushanji, exactly explaining what Vyasadeva is taking care of that. And he's answering. So this is the same style. Throughout 555 sutras are there, 558 sutras. And now I understood very quickly. I read it a couple times and very quickly I do it. So whatever the so-called abilities are developed, any of you, I guarantee, any of you can write the comment, this PowerPoints, what I'm doing it. Every one of you are capable, fully capable. But you must have the self-confidence, I can do it. And the fire in your belly should be there. Whatever the set goals assigned to me, I'm going to do it. I set myself certain goals. Actually, it's not I. The Paramatma sitting in my heart. He set the goals for me. But you have to trust Paramatma also. That he is there constantly with me. If I run into problem, my Paramatma is teaching me how to ride a bike. So he is there whenever, suppose if I fall down, he is always there to protect me. So knowing that, I took that step that now I will do all 558 sutras I will teach. I'm almost about to finish the PowerPoints. Seemingly impossible task. With what great confidence I took that step. And only so many 24 hours are there in
So,
this.
yeah, Prabhuji,
I'm doing it.
maybe
Let me complete this thought. And still I took it. Only 24 hours are there. And I'm trying to catch where I can squeeze off the time. I was growing my beard for the last few weeks. Today, my wife forced me to shave myself. Because shaving also takes some time. I wanted to squeeze off that time. But I took that step knowing all this thing. Near impossibility. But I know Krishna will take care of me. So you should also have that confidence. At least until you learn to have a full self-confidence, trust your teacher. Just like a child trusts his father. That my father will never let me fall down. So let's have this experience continue for next several weeks. And I'm going to watch very carefully all of you, how you are going to be doing recap seva. Okay? You so far have been doing wonderful. Whoever Sarat Prabhuji is assigning you, I'm going to watch very carefully how you conduct yourself. Okay? And it's not, I have full confidence, but you have to demonstrate that you are fully confident that you'll be able to do it. Not like Samita Mataji is doubting, oh, I cannot do it. Haribol, time is up now. We will continue this discussion for several weeks, okay? Now I'm not going to take away my hands behind your seat and I'm going to make you ride the bike, okay? But right now I'm holding, when I took up this thing, that means I'm holding your seat. Okay, we'll continue this discussion. It's not going to over in just 1 week. Now I have to watch several weeks now. But sooner or later, you need to learn. I will not be around a year from now. It's a reality. Face the reality. I will not be around. Hare Krishna. Let's have the Nashima prayer. Rajkumari बहन जी?
Yes, Vaiji, I do.
Yeah, please. So think about it, okay?
Okay, Vaiji. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Lad Daine. Prahlad Lad Daine. हिरण्यकाशी पूर्वक्षः शिलटङ्कालखालाये शिलटङ्कालखालाये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहिर्नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरेणकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवरेणकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे जय हो नरसिंहदेव 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 जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय हो नरसिम्हा देव की जय हो सब संतों की जय हो सभी डिवोटी जन की जय हो हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Yes.
थैंक यू भाई जी
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. So see you next week.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandat pranam to all devotees.
दंडवत प्रणाम
Dandavat.
जी भाई जी
Thank you, Shah Prabhuji, Sanjeev Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.